Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Nick from forexfornoobs.com with the daily analysis. Today is Tuesday, the 19th of February, 2019, and the time is 10 a.m. here in the UK. You're looking at an AUD/USD daily chart. Today's analysis, we're going to be looking for price action setups across all of these pairs. And we're also going to be looking at last week's trades, last week's potential trades, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to unmark these, but the rest of these marked ones, there were potential trades here towards the end of last week, and with the green ones, there were active trades towards the end of last week. So we're going to kick things off with, good morning, Alex. I just realized that Zila is a rearranging of Alex. I guess that's where you got it from. I don't know why it took me that long to realize that, but sorry, it's not even a rearranging, it's just Alex backwards is what I mean to say. I don't know why it took me like the year that you've been a member to realize that. But there you go. Anyway, morning Alex and Frank and Raphael. Right, so let's get started with the analysis. AUD/USD. For those of you who are long in AUD/USD, I mean, you may as well hold on. We're in low volatility conditions in the Forex market right now, so it's not surprising to see that this trade is taking ages to develop. It's moving in the direction you want it to, albeit very slowly. It is pulling back right now, but that doesn't really mean that it's not going to continue moving up. It already pulled back a little bit. It just looks like a kind of mini trend type situation. I mean, it could also it could turn around here and go back down to your entry, but you just have to watch this one closely. Maybe move your stop loss to break even, basically to your entry, and hold on to it. I wouldn't exit right now just because it's moving slowly. You just have to accept that this year, like last year, because we're seeing low volatility, it's very likely that it's going to take some time for your trades to hit target most times. Sometimes they're going to move to target right away, of course, but most times it's going to take a while for trades to hit your target. So, yeah, just hold on. USDCAD, I believe there was a short here. Oh, yeah, there was a short. Yeah, on the 12-hour. And came back up, and it's not really doing much. This one's not looking that good, to be honest. I'd probably, if it were me, I'd probably close this one out. It's getting stuck at this midpoint. See this midpoint where it's bounced from before? It's getting stuck here and it doesn't seem to want to go down. I'd give it at least until the end of the day, maybe even the end of tomorrow, to see if it manages to push below this midpoint. But if it doesn't, I would close this one out. There's no pending setup there right now, nor is there on AUD/USD because they're both still technically open trades. AUD/JPY, this one you should have hit target by now. So this one would have been closed out with profit. I'm gonna pull. Nah, it's actually fine there. There is a potential short here happening right now, but I don't really like it. It's forming too low. You're not gonna have much space for it to hit target. So yeah, let's not do anything with that. Euro New Zealand. This one's a bit tricky because there could be support here. This area of support is just messy. There's a lot of support resistance throughout. Basically starting here all the way down to this one. It seems like price bounces from this entire area. So either way, there's nothing happening there right now. I believe some people We had a setup here last week. I think it was a long trade, right? Or was it? I think it was a long trade that would have eventually been stopped out by this spike down. But I don't know. But either way, it doesn't look like there's an active trade there right now. Euro USD, there's nothing really happening there right now. It's just been moving sideways. Right, there was some potentials last week that we were looking at. I was looking at USDJPY, hoping for it to fall back to the support area. So I wanted it to drop to the support area for potential long. It hasn't quite reached the support area. It still might, but it looks like it's turning around, going up a bit earlier than I wanted it to. I'm still going to keep a close eye on it. I'm still watching for a drop down to support in order to take a long from that support area. New Zealand USD, we're getting a turnaround at this resistance area. Some people might be short here. Is anyone short? The risk to reward ratio is just not that great, is it? I'm just checking the forum. It wasn't posted to the forum. I don't think anyone's short here just because of the risk to reward ratio. Yeah, Alex. That's pretty much my take on it. That long wick would have made it hard to get a good risk to reward ratio on there. New Zealand USD. I don't see. Yeah, I don't see any posts on the forum, so I think no one's in this one. Cool. New Zealand CAD though. Now this there is a post on the forum about that that Andrew shared, but I also shared this one in last week's analysis. I believe it was Thursday's analysis. Is anyone short? All right, awesome, Raphael. Anyone else? Looks like Andrew is short, but I don't think he's here today. Biz is not answering because he's in the New Zealand JPY short. My New Zealand JPY support resistance areas need a bit of work. So Biz is in a similar trade. Ronnie, you're in. Alex, you're in. Camo is in. Whoa, a lot of people are in this one. There's a lot of activity on that forum post. Cool. I'm in this one too. I haven't posted it to the forum. I honestly didn't even realize I'd been triggered into it until I'm looking at it now. I haven't really checked. Can you give me a second, guys? I just want to open up my my trading platform on my phone. I want to confirm that I'm in this trade because I don't want to lie. All right. I'm just putting in the... So I'm just putting, I want to put in the numbers properly, not just kind of eyeball it based on the actual trade. Oh, that one's right. Cool. So this is my approach to it. I shared this trade last Thursday. Took a little while for it to take off. Technically, it triggered yesterday. I did not enter yesterday. I missed it yesterday. Wasn't really paying much attention to the charts yesterday, to be completely honest with you guys. But I got triggered into it today, it would seem. Nice. And it looks like most of you are in it, so we'll move this one to active. We've got GBP New Zealand next, so we'll drag it up to the top because it's most recent active. Drag that there. Next is GBP New Zealand. Now this one I did not enter. This one's moving quite nicely. Is anyone long on GBP New Zealand? It's a potential long I shared last Thursday on this one too. It doesn't look like there's a forum post for this one, so I'm assuming no one entered it. Or maybe some people entered it, but not many. No one in here entered. All right, the chat's a little hidden. All right, well, I'm going to mark this one as active. I'm not in it, and none of you guys in this room who have, I don't think are in it because you've not said you are. And I haven't seen it on the forum either. So I'm assuming most of us aren't actually in this trade. But I did share it in the analysis. So it's very likely that at least a few people are in it. They're just not posted it to the forum and not in the room right now. So I am going to keep an eye on it, keep track of it, and see how it develops. It looks quite good now. It's moving nicely. It's actually doing better than the one I'm in, New Zealand CAD. But I think New Zealand CAD is overall the stronger trade because New Zealand CAD's in a range, and ranges are awesome and they're a lot more reliable. So we got this nice range on New Zealand CAD that price is stuck in. It hit the top of that range and now it's coming down. That was when I shared this last Thursday. That was the thing I was most excited about, the fact that it's in a nice tight range. And yeah, I'm still really excited for this one. Whereas GBP New Zealand, it's a bit of a range, but it's not a fully developed range. It's not as clear or strong or tight a range as New Zealand CAD. So we got the top of the range there, the bottom of the range here. It hit the top again, even though it was a bit lower, and now it's bouncing from the bottom again. So this is technically, and we do have a previous minor bounce from the bottom of this range. This is technically in a range too. It's just not as clear a range. So both of these look quite good. I'm happier with New Zealand CAD overall just because of the strength of the range itself. Let's hold on to these ones and see how they play out. USDCHF. What was I looking at with USDCHF? I believe it was probably a continuation based on what I'm seeing right now. I was waiting for price to drop back down to here and continue up. It looks like we're getting that, but oh yeah, on the 12 hour. There is potential for a long here, guys. You could already be in the long, or since it's pulled back a little bit, you could enter right now. Let's look at the numbers, see if I would consider entering this one. Yeah, this is a viable trade, guys. So let me tell you what I'm thinking here. The thought process behind this. We've got what looks to be the start of a bullish trend. After price started dipping down, it started trending up. Now, there are a few things with this trend. First of all, it's not broken its previous high, which it which it's going to find very, very hard to break. So if you go long, and also the other thing with USDCHF that's super important is this is at extreme highs, and overall I'll be looking for a short from these highs up here. When it approaches these highs, you know, this is time to look for a short. So any long continuation you're taking here needs to be out by the time it hits up there. But there is definite potential for price to push up to there, and we could make a little bit of profit on that move. But overall, the overall position that I want to see on this is price pushing up to this resistance area, which it hasn't quite reached yet, pushing up to this resistance area, stalling out on this resistance area, and then turning around and moving down massively. That's what I want to see. But until then, we can try and exploit this this very minor trend here. It's not even that great a trend because it's not really made new highs beyond that, but it's made some new highs beyond this bounce here. So yeah, there is potential for a long trade here, guys, from this support area, heading towards the next support, the next area, which is resistance in this case. I'm probably not going to enter it. It's a bit of a risky trade for me, because going long around these highs is going to be risky. These highs are just too significant. So personally, I'm not going to enter it, but there is potential there for those who are willing to take on a little bit more risk than I am. But ultimately, what we want to see with these, USDCHF, is a massive short from these highs here. That's ultimately what we want to see. In the meantime, there is potential for a long from this support area. CAD CHF, I don't know what I'm doing with this one marked. I think someone pointed this one out and I marked it for them. But yeah, there's nothing going on there right now. We've already looked at AUDJPY. We're a bit mixed up now with all the moving and shuffling I did. And we're looking at pairs we've already looked at. AUDJPY we definitely looked at. I don't think we looked at Euro New Zealand. But there's nothing really going on here unless you're long already. If you're long already, then that's fine from this support area, but a bit late to enter in long now. Euro USD. Yeah, I mean, it's moving sideways, isn't it? New Zealand USD. This one. We're just going to move up to here. And I'm just considering marking this one green, but I don't think anyone's in this one, so I'm not going to mark it green. Let's not do that. AUD-CAD. What the hell's going on? Right. AUD-CAD. Short continuation happening right now. Very messy one though. It's very messy just because AUD-CAD has been a messy pair lately. It chooses to move sideways more than it chooses to move down. So any short you take here is likely going to go on for a long time before continuing down. But it is in an overall bearish trend. So it is trending down. So, oh, you're targeting that recent low? So yeah, that's okay then. I assume you've entered on a lower time frame too. If you're targeting this recent low, then it makes sense. If you were targeting lower, it'd be a bit of a risky trade, but targeting that recent low should be pretty easy. I'll mark this one green, that way we can come back to it tomorrow, see how it's developing for you, Alex. Yeah, EuroCAD's not doing anything. Oops. Gold and silver. I need to add these properly to the analysis rotation. Right now we're just doing some lower time frame stuff with these pairs, some of the members only setups. So I'll add them to the proper analysis rotation with some support resistance areas, because to be honest, gold and silver seem to be some amazing pairs to trade. Very consistent trends, very easy to spot, great setups on them, and very few losses comparative to some of the more volatile Forex pairs. There's very few losses. That doesn't mean I'm not saying like they have an 80% win rate or something crazy like that. I'm just saying compared to some of the volatile pairs, there's less losses on gold and silver. It just seems a bit easier to predict these big long trends, because it seems to move very much in big long trends and has very little sideways movements on the larger time frame. So we're talking the daily, the 12-hour, stuff like that. It doesn't seem to move sideways very often on those. It does have sideways movement on the very low time frames, which you can see stuff like that here. So see where this is a daily chart. So for a few days it moves sideways here. Now on the 1 hour charts, for example, that's going to be a lot of sideways movement, but on the scope of the daily chart, that's really not much sideways movement. It tends to trend very well. So I think this year, putting our focus on gold and silver, and maybe branching out into some other commodities, because this is spot gold and silver, but I believe you can trade. I was looking at this the other day. I'm almost 100% sure you used to be able to trade spot oil, but I haven't been able to find it. And I'm not sure if it's a false memory I have of being able to trade spot oil or what, but you can definitely trade with most Forex brokers these days. You could trade other commodities, not spot, but like for example, oh, this is technically, yeah, this is through and okay. Never mind, this is spot. This is not the one I was thinking about though. There was a different oil pair. But if we look at this, we can see some pretty clear trends here too. So adding these to the analysis rotation might be, it will give us a lot of pairs. Oops, what am I doing? It'll give us a lot of pairs, which might be a bit annoying. Try this one. Oh, it's pretty much the same. I guess we would just figure out which one of these is the best to trade. Sorry guys, I just don't have that much experience with these commodity CFDs. So if I sound like a bit of a noob with this, it's because I am. I mean, ultimately, they're just charts, and doing analysis on charts is going to be the same across Forex pairs, especially price action analysis as it is with these kind of commodities. But there might be some differences in terms of spreads and the cost of actually taking the trades, which I would need to double check. But I think it should be mostly the same, to be honest. I don't think it'll be much different. But I definitely want to start looking a bit more at these, especially when some of the Forex pairs are showing very low volatility. We might be able to catch some longer term trends on stuff like oil and gold and silver. But anyway, I've been going on about this too long. This analysis session's already run 20 minutes and we're not even fully through the analysis. So let's just keep going, and I'll leave my musings about commodities to myself until I've actually made a firm decision as to whether I'm going to add them to the analysis rotation. But just one more thing about them. If on the forum, I'm going to put a post up today with a poll, I guess would be the best way to do this, asking if you guys have access to trading oil, gold, and silver with your brokers. It'd be very interesting to see if you guys do, because if you don't, then adding it to the normal analysis rotation is going to be might not be that useful to most of you. But if you guys can trade oil and stuff, then adding it to the analysis rotation would make sense. So I'm going to be putting a post up on the forum, probably the announcements section, with a poll. If you could please respond to that. That way it gives me an idea of whether it makes sense to add this. That would be great. So moving on. AUD New Zealand dropped to the bottom here, pulling away. It's way too high on that support area, so there's not that much going on there. Euro AUD is in between support resistance. Euro GBP is also in between. Euro JPY, yeah, there's no potential set up there right now. GBP AUD in between support resistance, nothing really there. GBP CHF, I'm not really trading this pair. GBPJPY, yeah, nothing going on there. GBPUSD, this one looks kind of maybe interesting. There's potential for a short continuation here, but it's not really in a strong trend. Yeah, there is no strong bearish trend here, but there is potential for a short continuation, especially since it's lining up with the 200 moving average right now. So this 200 moving average and the resistance area, they're pretty close together. You'll find when the 200 moving average and our normal support resistance areas converge and they get close together, that it gives you a more powerful potential continuation or reversal. So let's keep a close eye on this one for a potential short. Finally, New Zealand JPY, which I need to redo support resistance area. So we'll leave this one until the next analysis. Today's analysis was a bit messy in terms of this list here. I think I covered all the pairs I had to cover, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's take a quick look at the news. We have the wage price index today out of Australia in about 2 hours. Not a big report. I'm not too worried about that. We have the FOMC meeting minutes at 7 p.m. tonight, UK time, which that's more significant. That can be a market mover. I think we'll be fine, but yeah, it can be a market mover. Then tomorrow, before tomorrow's analysis, we have nothing else. We have the employment change and unemployment rate, but that's after the analysis. So we'll discuss those in more detail tomorrow. But tomorrow is going to be a members only analysis. It won't be posted publicly to YouTube. So just for those of you who are not members of Forex Mastermind or Price Action Mastery, I'll just give some brief analysis on tomorrow since you won't be hearing from me until Thursday. Oh, whoa, sorry. I just made a complete fool of myself and I've been reading this wrong. Today is Tuesday. Because the green marker was there and it said 12:30, I thought that was 12:30 p.m. and I didn't even read the AM there. And I thought, okay, that's coming out in 2 hours. But that makes no sense because it's an AUD report. Australian reports don't come out at that time. Oh, sorry guys, that was kind of dumb. I made myself look a bit silly there. Right, so today is Tuesday, not Wednesday, which means there are no further reports coming out today. But at 12:30 a.m., we are getting the Aussie report wage price index, which is not in 2 hours, but it is in fact in about 14 hours. We're going to get that report coming out. Again, don't worry too much about that. Then tomorrow evening, Wednesday, there's the FOMC meeting minutes. That, you might want to be concerned about that. It can be a market mover. And then before Thursday's analysis, we got 12:30 a.m. Yeah, the employment change and unemployment rate. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So I guess I'm going to stop making myself look dumb and call an end to this analysis unless you guys have any questions. Just a brief summary before I go. USDJPY, potential long if it drops back down to the support area. USDCHF, there's a potential long happening around here right now that you could enter, but keep in mind that this would be a short-term trade, and it's a bit of a risky trade because you are trading against these massive highs where price tends to pull back from quite fast. Short term, we could look for a long up to this resistance area, but long term for this, we're still looking for a major short from these highs here. Just because it has not hit those highs yet and it's backing away, it doesn't really mean much. It did that last time. We could see it got close to it and pulled away before pushing up to there and then ultimately going down for a long time. So I'm still looking for price to hit those highs before I look for a short there, before I look for a long-term short. And GBPUSD, there's a potential short from this resistance area. It's lining up with the daily 200 moving average, which is just a secondary kind of resistance. So because it's near two resistance areas, I'm looking for a potential short there. Other than that, there's no potentials, but there's a lot of open stuff in terms of trades. We're in, most of us are in a New Zealand CAD short. I imagine some people are in a GBP New Zealand short, and Zila, Alex is in a AUD CAD short, and I imagine other people are in that one too. So, doesn't look like there's any questions. We're going to wrap this one up. Thank you guys for attending. Members, I will see you tomorrow for tomorrow's analysis. And everyone else, I'll see you for Thursday's analysis. Thank you for attending, and I'll see you guys later.